Can we talk about Dave Stubbs for a second? This is my swimming mentor. I loved Dave Stubbs, and he was the crosstown coach. But one of the things that Dave Stubbs taught me, like on a human level, and it was something that he said during a practice, and I'm sure you have things like this that like same coach could have talked to you 1,000 times. He might have said something just a certain way that you remember. And one day, Coach Stubbs was up in front of the group, and he was talking to us, and he explained to me that he didn't like to tell swimmers not to do something during practice. He reworded it. And the way he liked to talk to you is he would say, what I would like to see you do, as opposed to, don't put your hand in like this. He would say, what I would like you to do, and he would show you, and it was always worded in a positive. And it was just a subtle way of explaining things, but it always reminded me that at Coach Stubbs' core, he was a teacher. And he was always thinking about how the swimmer received the message. The other thing about Coach Stubbs that was legendary, and you might not have seen it in the same way, because he might have been more focused on you, but he was an incredible team builder. Like just one of the greatest team builders I've ever seen. And he had an ability to get that 25th guy on the team to make big finals at a league meet or something, he got the best out of the whole team, not just Rajesh Vodadar. He got something out of everybody. And tell me about Coach Stubbs through your eyes.
Yeah, so Dave Stubbs was the guy who taught me a lot of the very interesting small detail stuff. So, him and Kyle and, really Dave drove it into my head. For instance, when we start working on technique changes or really, really big things like distance per stroke, there may be a period of time where I'm training slower, but my stroke is improving. And over time, that momentum will pick up. And I remember, I put all my trust in these guys. Okay, they know what I'm doing. They know what I could be best at, et cetera, et cetera. And that was junior year. We'll get to that. But, there was times at dual meets where I'd be man, I feel like crap. We just got off of a big training week or something. And Dave would be all right, well, we're going to do a set of 100s. And I'm right now? And he's yeah. He's you want to feel better? He's you need more of a warm-up. So instead of just the foo-foo flop around high school warm-up, the kids would be done, and I'd be doing a set of 100s, and the officials are we need to clear the pool. got one more. But, he taught me a lot of the other, small details too. You don't need to feel good to swim fast. Swimming's all about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And, there was a lot of small nitpick things because he is the detail. And besides just the swimming aspect of it, he always wanted to make sure that you were a healthy minded individual. And so you don't always get that with coaches. And obviously he has had a ton of experience with swimmers at that level. And, when he first came in, it was like a stranger to me. And after working together, a ton of value came out from Dave Stubbs. So it was so cool. He almost came out of retirement and helped coach for a few years there, but he was a great addition to that Lakeview staff.
It's awesome. Thanks for all that. He's a father first, that to me was what defined him. And I got to watch him work with Ben and Monica and his daughters. And it's really cool. Just a great man.